Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders and bishops at Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. And Shalom to the Lord's elect. It's your brother Rabbi Knapp coming out with a lesson, Lord's will is edifying. Okay, so, hold on. Let me just gather my stuff. Let's see what's going on in the news. There's so much going on that you kind of don't even know where to begin, but it's better to just talk about something, okay? Because you want to practice getting into this, man. You want to practice, prophesying. You want to practice being diligent, okay? These things are not just gonna come to you, especially when you're not putting in the work. Okay, when you put in the work, when you're constantly looking, watching, as well as praying, these things it's easier for you to say something about something. Okay, let's see what's going on though. On X, it says today's news: Sabrina Carpenter's album. I don't know who that is. Kevin Durant's trade saga. New Superman trailer release. Hold on, that's good. I'm about to look at that. Hold on.
Superman. The most powerful being on planet Earth. We finally meet. Now, as planned, I'll destroy you. And of course, that reporter you always do interviews with. Who raised you as a child? I'll kill them too.
No matter what you do to me, Luther, your plans will work.
Wrap it up.
Good luck with that.
Make a move, Big Blue.
They chose him. Let them die. Hey! Quit messing around. I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff. Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Looks like they got Leviathan up in there. Got Leviathan, you got the robots, got the spiritual power. Ultimately, that's the elect, man. And ultimately the real Superman is Yahweh Shai. Ain't no one stronger than him, man. Okay? But the Israelites are the only ones that are gonna have spiritual power. Okay, and that big creature that was shooting fire. Hey, that's Yahweh Shai. That's Leviathan. Let's just jump over there. In the book of Job, 41st chapter, Job 41, God's power shown in creatures. Canst thou draw Leviathan with a hook, or his tongue with a cord, which thou lettest down? Yes, can you go fishing and catch this big of a sea creature? Canst thou put a hook into his nose, or bore his jaw through with the thorn? Yeah, can you control it? Will he make many supplications unto thee? Will he spark soft words? Will he speak soft words unto thee? So lucky. Will he make a covenant with thee? Will thou take him for a servant forever? Yeah, you're gonna do. Are you? Can you do that? Wilt thou play with him as with a bird, or wilt thou bind him for thy maidens? Shall the companions make a banquet of him? Shall they part him among the merchants? Canst thou fill his skin with barbed irons, or his head with fish spears? Lay thine hand upon him, remember the battle, do no more. Behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down, even at the sight of him? None is so fierce that dare to stir him up. Who then is able to stand before me? Who have prevented me that I should repay him? Whatsoever is under the whole heaven is mine. I will not conceal his parts, nor his power, nor his comely proportion. Who can discover the face of his garment, or who can come to him with his double bridle? Who can open the doors of his face? His teeth are terrible round about. His scales are his pride, shut up together as with a closed seal. One is so near to another that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another, they stick together that they cannot be sundered. But his nestings a light doth shine in his eyes like the eyelids of the morning. Yeah, so his nestings a light doth shine. Okay. Or is this nesings? Let's look into that word, nesings. Sneezing, meaning to sneeze, sneezing. By his sneezings a light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. So he can shoot fire out of his mouth and his eyes, okay? Or some type of light, some type of laser or something. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks fire leap out. So out of his mouth go burning lamps. That's that fire. And then his eyes, it's crazy, man. Out of his nostrils go smoke, and out of a seething pot or cauldron. His breath kindleth coals, and flame goeth out of his mouth. In his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned into joy before him. Okay, brother said that when when he's destroying, when y'all are scared of Godzilla, for example, but um Godzilla's out there, he's having fun, destroying and causing all mass destruction. The flakes of his flesh are joined together, they are firm in themselves, they cannot be moved. His heart is as firm as a stone, yea, as hard as a piece of the nether millstone. When he raiseth up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reason of breakings they purify themselves. The sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold, the spear, the dart, nor the harbor going. He esteemeth iron as straw, and brass as rotten wood. Yeah, he esteemeth iron as straw, man. Same way you break straw is the same way he can break iron. And brass is rotten wood. Yeah, brass, he can break it like rotten wood, man. Powerful. The arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones are turned with him into stubble. So your tanks, your missiles, that's not going to be able to take him out. Darts is counted as stubble. He laugheth at the shaking of a spear. Yeah, he laughs at your attempt to hit him with these things, man. You hit a big building, you can demolish a building, but those same things can't take out Leviathan. Sharp stones are under him. He spreadeth sharp pointed things upon the mire. He maketh the deep to boil like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. Yeah, so he'll burn you, man. The inside of him it's like fire is in there. He maketh a path to shine after him. One would think the deep to be a hoary. Upon earth there is not like his like, who is made without fear. He beholdeth all things. He is king over all the children of pride. Yeah, he's your king, man. Cause you like a damn beast. You the base. You the fucking the worst creature down here on the earth, man. Okay. And then Superman, it's crazy, man. But hey, ultimately, that's what's going on, man. All right. I actually wanted to get into Gavin Newsome. See what's popping with him. I don't know which one's his. This is his. got the certification.
Stranger to immigration enforcement, but instead of focusing on undocumented immigrants with serious criminal records and people with final deportation orders, a strategy both parties have long supported. This administration is pushing mass deportations, indiscriminately targeting hardworking immigrant families, regardless of their roots or risk. What's happening right now is very different than anything we've seen before. On Saturday morning, when federal agents jumped out of an unmarked van near a Home Depot parking lot, they began grabbing people, a deliberate targeting of a heavily Latino suburb. A similar scene played out when a clothing company was raided downtown. In other actions, a U.S. citizen, 9 months pregnant, was arrested, a 4-year-old girl taken, families separated, friends quite literally disappearing. In response, everyday Angelenos came out to exercise their constitutional right to free speech and assembly, to protest their government's actions. In turn, the state of California and the city and county of Los Angeles sent our police officers to help keep the peace. And with some exceptions, they were successful. Like many states, California is no stranger to this sort of unrest. We manage it regularly and with our own law enforcement. But this, again, was different. What then ensued was a use of tear gas, flashbang grenades, rubber bullets, federal agents detaining people and undermining their due process rights. Donald Trump, without consulting California law enforcement leaders, commandeered 2,000 of our state's National Guard members to deploy on our streets, illegally and for no reason. This brazen abuse of power by a sitting president inflamed a combustible situation, putting our people, our officers, and even our National Guard at risk. That's when the downward spiral began. He doubled down on his dangerous National Guard deployment by fanning the flames even harder. And the president, he did it on purpose.
Yeah. It's that cruel king, man. In Isaiah 19:4. He don't care. He's sending guards. He's gonna fulfill prophecy. Okay, whether you like it or not. So you better be prepared for what's going on out here. Isaiah 19:1, the burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Yeah, so the Lord's going to be coming on a cloud, a chariot. Okay, that's it's talking about what the world knows as a UFO or unidentified or UAP. All right, aerial phenomenon. All right, that's what a chariot of Israel is. Isaiah 19:2. Notice it says chariot of Israel because it's only here for the Israelites. It's not dealing with everybody. Isaiah 19:2. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. And we're starting to see that an Egyptian against the Egyptian or an American against the American. And they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. So that's what's going on right now, man. Okay, the Egyptians going against Egyptians. You know, the council is being destroyed. You know, they're gonna seek to idols. They're gonna seek to. I mean, as it gets worse, whatever you believe in, you're gonna rely on that to save you. Okay, and most of it's gonna be it's gonna come to no avail because there's only one God, which is the God of Israel, and you have to be an Israelite. Okay, now other nations, whoever's in America, if you're not an Israelite or the elites, you're gonna be destroyed, man. This place, how are you gonna stop 200 million missiles in America? Tell me how that's possible. Now, those who are outside in different countries, some missiles are gonna be going hitting these other places, but they're not gonna be utterly destroyed like Israel and America. Okay, so that there's a great slaughter here that's prepared to happen. Okay, and this is just the Egyptian against the Egyptian. Okay, you know, and that's what he's talking about. That's why you see these protests, brazen abuse of power. That's that cruel king. All right. So what do you expect from Esau, man? You think he's gonna have some mercy on you? He's not. Okay, he's not. What's the second Edge 7? I'm already here. 7 in verse 57. Then answered he me and said, This is the condition of the battle, which men that are born upon the earth shall fight. That if he become that if he overcome be overcome, he shall suffer as thou hast said. But if he get the victory, he shall receive the thing that I say. That's right, man. Which is salvation. That's how you get the victory. That's what it is the Lord putting your enemies underneath your feet, literally, and destroying them. And you're going to watch it. You're going to see it. And that's the Lord giving you that. And that's an everlasting salvation, meaning you're never going to know. You're never going to be trodden on the foot ever again. Okay. And this is what we're hoping for. Just imagine that, man. Just getting beamed up and going into think about how happy you're going to be when you actually get beamed up, because what that means is you're part of the elect. You're going to get a new body. You're going to get to meet Yahweh Shai, okay, and the rest of the elect, and you get to know who you are and who you were in these past lives, okay. So that's glorious, and that's going to be forever. Okay, and it's just gonna get better and better from there. Just the salvation is the greatest thing. Meeting Yahweh Shai again for the first time in who knows how long is the greatest thing. Okay, and then eternity, you're going into eternity forever, and you're never gonna go off ever again, and you're never gonna have enemies rule over you. That's a beautiful thing. Okay, but right now we gotta suffer these things. Okay, we gotta suffer Esau ruling and doing whatever the hell he wants. Um, for let's get this one. What's this? First Peter 3 and 14. Let's grab that. Let's grab that. First Peter 3 verse 14. But and if ye suffer for righteousness' sake, happy are ye, and be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled, but sanctify the Lord God in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is in you, with meekness and fear, having a good conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you as of evildoers, they may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good conversation in Hamashiach. Yeah, so, you know, it's good to suffer for righteousness' sake. Okay. You done did a lot of wickedness. We all have. Okay, but now it's time to put on as the elect, man. Matthew 5 and 10, blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Exactly. So this is what we want to get. This is all part of that. This is the battle, man. This is what we doing. Prepare yourself for this. Okay. 2 Peter 1, 1 and verse 10, wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure, for if ye do these things, ye shall never fall. For so an entrance shall be ministered unto you abundantly into the everlasting kingdom of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. That's right, man. You got to put on as the elect. Okay? Watching these things, you should, instead of getting caught up, you know, in the protests and the standing up for your fight for your right spirit, man, you got to get out of that and hey, suffer suffer for the Lord, man. Not for the rights of people so you can remain in the congregation of the dead. I want to be a Mexican. This is all Mexican land. As a matter of fact, who said that? Let me follow Gavin Newsome, because this boy is trending 2.2 million followers. And guess what? He might be running for president in a midterms is coming up in 2026, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen. Okay, Mexico president, California, something like that. Let me see what pops up. Let me see. Mexico's president stated yesterday, if necessary, we'll mobilize. We don't want taxes on remittances from our fellow countrymen from the U.S. to Mexico. Calling the protests in the U.S. is unbelievable. Some are even saying, just give California to Mexico. I would have. I think she said something. Just further putting fuel in the fire, because the women shouldn't be in no position of power. Okay, let's see. It's fine. Let me see what she says. If I can get it in English.
Estados Unidos son hombres y mujeres de bien, son hombres.
Oh man, hold on. Let's see if I can get it in English.
Vaping sucks you in quick. Visit mylifemyquit.com or text StartMyQuit to 36072.
En los medios de comunicación, toda autoridad, el gobierno de México.
Come on, can someone translate this, man? Hold on.
Mexicanos que viven en Estados Unidos son hombres.
I guess I'm gonna have to read. I try to get around it, but I'm gonna have to read.
Las
Mexican men and women.
mexicanas y los mexicanos.
I'll just read it because I don't want to hear her voice. Let's shut this off. Mexican men and women living in the United States are good people. It says they are honest people who went to the United States to seek a better life for themselves and to support their families. Well, why they have to leave Mexico? They got a president. Why what's going on? You supporting your family in your country. They are not criminals. They are good men and women. Honest. They have the full solidarity of their government. Mexican men and women will always have our support. And our demand that human rights always be respected, and know that if they want to return to Mexico, we welcome them with open arms. That's not what I'm looking for, man. So y'all can go back to Mexico, according to your Claudia Sheinbaum. Sheinbaum. I don't know what kind of Mexican last name that is. I thought someone said that Mexican president condemns LA violence, calls on Mexicans to act peacefully. So I don't know. Okay. And then what else did I want to get into? Tehran. Let's go into Tehran news, man. 16 minutes ago, what's this? This is the front page of tomorrow's edition of Tehran Times. Because he said something about, in a fresh crackdown on personal freedom, Iran has now banned dog walking in public across nearly 20 cities from Tehran to Tehran, Trump. Let's see what pops up. Because they're talking good shit. Trump's talking about bombing Tehran and which is Iran, the capital of Iran. Iran's talking about bombing American bases that are in that area, that are closer to them. Okay, if I can find it, Iran American military bases. Damn. It says 60,000 U.S. troops around Iran, 6,600 miles away from U.S. got 14,000 here, 2,500 there. Iraq, Syria. Iraq, you're done. Kuwait, boom. Qatar, what are you gonna do in this area? 3,000 in Saudi Arabia. Man, what are y'all doing, man? I wasn't even looking for that, but that it just goes to show you 14,000. That's crazy, man. You know, Slovakia. 51,400 estimated total U.S. troops in the Middle East. So you're just a target. You just over there making yourself a target. So I can't find it here. Iran will bomb U.S. military bases, something like that. See what pops up. They just said it. This is like yesterday's news, man. One day ago. Iran is crazy enough to use nuclear weapon. Taking a closer look at Iran's uranium enrichment. Iran threatens. How about that? What pops up? Iran threatens Trump administration enrichment will continue. I don't know where I found it. I don't know where I found it. Let me see if I go back here. Iran threatens to bomb U.S. military. 4 hours ago. Okay. Iran threatens U.S. bases amid rising tensions over nuclear. Let's see what.
When you shop in the Shaw's app, you can count on us to choose fresh produce, guaranteed. Even if
Hello, Namaskar. This is First Post, and you're watching Vantage with me, Palki Sharma. Operation Sindoor showed us what we've always known: America's support to Pakistan. It was American jets that Pakistan used to attack India, American-backed money that Pakistan uses to fund its terror factories, and American legitimacy for the generals who run this show. If you need more proof, you will see it later this week. The US has invited Pakistan's army chief for its military day parade, which also happens to be Donald Trump.
Why would he be sending? This is why I'm saying, man, this dude. I thought what do you call it? India was an ally to America, but you're inviting the Pakistani government to come over here. See, these devils run both sides of the fence, man. They run both sides of the fence. So this is why it's hard for us to. It's ultimately the Lord, man. So this is why the only thing you could possibly do, hey, you gotta stick with the Lord, man, because it can get it don't. It's such a mess, man. Such a mess. I'll get to Shama in a second. I want to get into this precept right now. Wisdom of Solomon 6:1. Hear therefore, O ye kings, and understand. Learn ye that be judges of the ends of the earth. Give ear, you that rule the people, and glory in the multitude of nations. For power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the highest. Who shall try your works and search out your counsels? Because being ministers of his kingdom, you have not judged the right, nor kept the law, nor walked after the counsel of God. Horribly and speedily shall he come upon you, for sharp judgment shall be on them that be in high places. For mercy will soon pardon the meanest, but mighty men shall be mightily tormented. For he which is Lord over all shall fear no man's persons, neither shall he stand in awe of any man's greatness. For he hath made the small and great, and careth for all alike. But a sore trial shall come upon the mighty. Unto you therefore, O kings, do I speak, that ye may learn wisdom and not fall away. For they that keep holiness holily shall be judged holy, and they that have learned such things shall find what to answer. Wherefore set your affection upon my words, desire them, and ye shall be instructed. Okay? But they hate the words of the Lord. They don't keep any of the law, statutes, and commandments. They're not trying to implement the Lord's laws down here. Okay? Psalms 55 in verse let me see, where is it? Is it 55 Salakia? It might be 50. No, it's definitely when cast his words behind thee. Something like that. That's what they do. Psalms 50. It was Psalm 50. That's what they do, man. They have this Bible. They have plenty of churches and they can teach the truth. They don't want to because it exposes them. Okay? And it says, Psalms 50, I'll start at 15. And call upon me in the day of trouble, I will deliver thee, and thou shalt glorify me. But unto the wicked God saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Yeah, who are you? What have you done to declare the Lord's statutes? I mean, you're in the land, you have the power, the military might to push laws and write decrees, but what do? You write unrighteous decrees. You afflict the poor. You ain't waking up the elect. You ain't feeding the sheep. You're oppressing them. Okay, so you deserve the judgment that's coming to Babylon. Seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee. So they don't want to be instructed. Okay. Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 11. Wherefore set your affection upon my words, desire them, and ye shall be instructed. They don't want to do that. When thou sawest a thief, thou contendest with him, and hast been partaker with adulterers. Psalms 50 and 19. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son. That's what you do, man. He has no he's not trying to establish righteousness down here on the earth, man. He's trying to build up a wicked society. Job 20 and 3. I have heard the check of my reproach in this. I start from the top. Job 20 and 1. Then answered Zophar the Naamathite and said, therefore do my thoughts cause me to answer, and for this I make haste. I have heard the check of my reproach, and the spirit of my understanding causeth me to answer. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumph of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment? Yeah, you're a hypocrite because you claim to be righteous or claim to have Christian values, and they're false. You've been exposed for not keeping anything in here holy or sacred, man. You defiled the whole understanding of the Bible. Though his excellency mount up to heavens and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night, and you're going to be destroyed. Chased away as a vision in the night. Like everything that we're dealing with down here in the earth, it's like a bad dream having Esau ruling. But once you be destroyed and we go into everlasting, this is going to be like a bad dream, a little blip in history that is going to be forgotten. Like we're not even going to believe no one's going to believe this devil even existed. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hand shall restore their goods. And that's what they're doing now. They're out there protesting on the side of the Mexicans and the Negroes and the Latinos, fighting for, these are your children. Okay, your ancestors are trying to, because they see that shameful history, man. They don't want no parts of that. They even hate Esau. His bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. Yeah, look at Duck. You know, who knows what kind of shit he done put mad people to death. Who knows the type of shit he was doing, man? He was trying to get the Brooklyn the Brooklyn Five in the park. I forgot what they called them. They got these kids who were just walking in the park were accused of rape, and he was calling for the death penalty on them, man. So, and who knows what other shit he's doing, and the shit that he's doing now, you're not even gonna find out about half the shit that he's done until later, if we're privy to it. Okay, there's so much this devil's doing that's beyond. It's not public. Okay, Okay, he's doing a lot of sacrificing. That's why you see the shit with P. Diddy and all that shit. There's a whole bunch of shit going on behind the scenes that they're privy to. Okay, he was just known to be with Mr. Epstein, and he's trying to supposedly speak on behalf of P. Diddy. You know, even Mike Tyson, man. Okay, Tyson had a case back in the day too, and he was on the side of that wickedness, man. Can two walk together lest they be agreed? I'd be ashamed to say I'm friends with any of those people he was associated with. Job 20 and 12. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth. Yet his meat in his bowels is turned, it is the gall of asps within him. He hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. God shall cast them out of his belly. So all the shit you stole, that's all for Yasharala. You storing it up for the righteous. Okay? As a matter of fact, let's get that precept. Store it for the righteous shall put it on. I think it's called the righteous. If I can spell righteous, shall put it on. Something like that. Okay, let's get that. Job 27 and 17. He may prepare it, but the just shall put it on, and the innocent shall divide the silver. Okay, so the elect, Lord's will be a part of that number. They're the ones who are gonna divide everything you've been everything you stole. Okay, Job 20 and 16. He shall suck the poison of asps. The viper's tongue shall slay him. He shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to its substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. So all this shit that he's doing in order to implement his new world order and stealing all this shit that he's done in the past, all of that is going to be what the restitution be. And according to Numbers 35 and 33, I believe, even your blood's going to be required. So what did you really get away with? You didn't get away with nothing. The Lord's going to repay you, and you're going to get every ounce of the cup, man. You're going to drink it all up. Numbers 35 and 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Okay, so what does that mean, man? All that blood you spilt, you gonna pay that back, and that's a lot of blood from generation to generation. How patient has the Lord been with Esau? Okay, and he continues. Jacob's trouble didn't even come yet, and that's gonna be a whole different event. Okay, because he tells you in Second Esdras, the 5th chapter. Let's get it. Second Esdras 5 and 1, nevertheless, as concerning the tokens which are signs, behold, meaning look, the days shall come that they which dwell upon the earth shall be taken in a great number, and the way of truth shall be hidden, and the land shall be barren of faith. So there's going to be a great number of people being put to death, and the Lord's using Esau to do it, and that also includes 2/3 of Israel, which is 66.6. And Israel is as the sand of the sea, so a lot of people are going to die, man. Okay, never mind the other nations. But it's Jacob's trouble. So wherever Israel is, which are scattered throughout all the earth, hey man, and predominantly the elect are here in Babylon. Okay, but there is a remnant of the elect in all parts of the earth. Job 20 and 19. Because he have oppressed and have forsaken the poor, because he have violently taken away a house which he builded not. Talking about the Israelites, man. You oppress the poor. Okay, that's who's poor in this world, but they're rich in faith. Okay, according to James, uh, it's one Revelation 2, but let's see what pops up. James 2:5. Hearken, my beloved brethren, have not God chosen the poor of this world, rich in faith, and heirs of the kingdom which he had promised to them that love him? So we're rich in faith. Okay, we got the promises, we got the Lord. Okay, so we're abundant. We got the Most High, man, and everything belongs to him. Job 20:20. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save of that which he desired. There shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Yeah, in the fullness of your sufficiency, he shall be in straits. So just when you think, just like when you're about to fill your belly, it's just that when you almost come to the full, it's gonna be difficult because the Lord's gonna rain um, fire and brimstone upon your kingdom. Job 20:23. When he is about to fill his belly, God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So when you're starting to get your MOTB and people start actually taking the chip, because you're gonna get people to take the chip, but the elect, you're not gonna be able to pluck them out of the Lord's hand. Okay, they're gonna be protected. Okay, there's a scripture that tells you that. Um, that's the spirit, man. There, the Lord is a fire round about them, something like that. Is this it? Zechariah 2:5. For I saith, the Lord will be unto her a wall of fire round about, and will be glory in the midst of her. Okay, let's see. So basically, he gonna be protecting his elect. Okay, let me see if that's the only precept. I think that's the one I'm looking for. He gonna be the fire round about them, man. Okay. Um, Job 20:24. He shall flee from the iron weapon, which are the missiles, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body. Yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. Yeah, so it's gonna come out of the body. It's gonna come out the silos and destroy him. Okay. All darkness shall be hid in his secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. Yeah, so, a fire not blown is talking about those thermonuclear missiles that rely on some type of fusion. I can't really explain it, but it's a nuclear, um, the way the separating of the atoms. Okay, he's not lighting a match to burn this place down. Okay, Job 20:27. The heavens shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. And that's these other nations. They're already rising up against him because he's being exposed for the wickedness that he's doing in other countries, and these whistleblowers and the men that's on the highways and hedges. Everyone is in these conspiracy theorists. Everyone is exposing this devil, man. In the heavens, like the unicorns exposing him. Okay, Job 20:28. The increase of his house shall depart, and his good shall flow away in the day of his wrath. This is the portion of a wicked man from God, and the heritage appointed unto him by God. So this is what happens when you don't want to keep the law, statutes, and commandments in the land. You're going to be destroyed, just like what happened to Israel. Okay, but more special than us. The same way you're going to be like unto us. Okay, like it says in Lamentations. Now you want to bring, and then he wants to have this military day parade on his birthday. Lamentations 1:21. They have heard that I sigh, there is none to comfort me. All my enemies have heard of my trouble. They are glad that thou hast done it. Thou will bring the day that thou hast called, and they shall be like unto me. Yeah, you're going to be just like unto the nation of Israel. Low, no respect, no glory, nothing to glory about the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, and the worst part is you're not gonna have prophets on the highways and hedges prophesying the downfall of Israel. Okay, it's not gonna be like us. The Lord have mercy on us, but He ain't gonna have mercy with you. Let all their wickedness come before thee, and do unto them as thou hast done unto me for all my transgressions. For my sighs are many, and my heart is faint. Yet do unto them as you have done unto us. And we drank that whole cup. Okay. What's that? Jeremiah 49. Let me grab it. Um, Jeremiah 49 and 12. For thus saith the Lord, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have surely drunken, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. Exactly. You're going to drink of it. Okay. You're going to drink of it. This is the book of James, chapter 2. Verse 13, for he shall have judgment without mercy that have showed no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment. So you didn't show any mercy, so don't expect any mercy when it's time for you to serve your captivity. Okay, you're going to have to pay for the things that you did against the nation of Israel and the rest of the nations too. It's not just you, but you're the one that's going to receive the full cup, utter destruction. You're going to perish forever like your own dung. Okay, that's what it is. As a matter of fact, you know, I didn't want to make this long, but it is what it is, man. I want to finish with what Miss Sharma's saying.
Trump's birthday. How should India view this? We'll discuss that tonight. Also in focus, what is the real story of the US-China trade deal? Why aren't markets excited? While Los Angeles is under curfew on day 6 of the riots, and how the unrest is spreading to many other American cities.
Yep, on the curfew. That's going to happen everywhere, man. This protest in Boston, there's a bunch of shit, but I want her to talk about this Iran threatens the U.S. bases.
How misinformation and fake news is fueling the violent protests in America. What's with the Trump-Musk détente? What made the Tesla CEO say sorry? Can Rapido disrupt India's food delivery market, which is...
Now Musk wants to say sorry. No, stand on what you said. Stand on business. You say he's on the Epstein list. That's why he's not releasing it. Stand on that. But that's Esau. Okay, that's you know, now he's getting pressure put on him, man. And it's why you ain't releasing it. You're the president. You should be releasing it. Okay. But you know what? We're probably not going to get to it because this is 5 minutes. I'm not trying to spend all this time. If you want to watch it for yourself. It says it right here. Iran threatens U.S. bases amid rising tensions over nuclear deal. That hasn't been finished yet. Okay. So they got to worry about these things, man. All right. Just want to grab this. And I'm going to wrap it up. Book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 9. You know, and then the protest in Boston. As a matter of fact, let's just jump over there. So let's see what popped on this. Huge anti-ICE protests in Chicago. It says New York, Dallas, San Francisco, Philadelphia, Portland, and Boston are also expecting large protests. So they did a little something. Let's see what this is saying. I don't know what city that is. What's this? Massive protests in Boston. No, that's 2020. But there was something in Boston. There was something in Boston. I don't know. This is the book of Sirach, chapter. Is this Sirach? Ecclesiasticus, chapter 9. the hell is that? Ecclesiasticus chapter 9. Here it is. Verse 17. For the hand of the artificer, the work shall be commended, and the wise ruler of the people for his speech. A man of an ill tongue is dangerous in his city, and he that is rash in his talk shall be hated. And that's Duck. Okay, he's rash in his talk. That's why he's hated. Okay, the things that he says, the type of rhetoric he talks about so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. There's a way to go about doing things. He's doing it in the worst way because he wants to provoke that response that he's looking for. Okay, he on his for whatever agenda he's doing it is not the he's doing it for whatever his wicked intentions are, but it's ultimately the Lord doing it to rouse up the tribes. Ecclesiasticus 10:1, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he shall set over it one that is profitable. Okay? In the hand of God is the prosperity of man, and upon the person of the scribe shall he lay his honor. So, what this is saying is that these rulers, man, he doesn't fit, um, having a well-ordered government. Okay, it says as the judges, so are his officers, and look how his officers are doing. They're indiscriminately just jumping on, getting you while you're at school, jumping out. They're like gangsters, okay, and that's how he's running his government like a mob boss. And this is it's exposing him for who he is. These different things that he's doing out here. Okay, it says an unwise king destroyeth his people. And when you have civil war, it tells you in Mark 3:24 that it can't stand. So that's destroying a kingdom. That ain't making it better. Okay, Mark 3. I'll start at 22. No, Salakia. Yeah, 23. And he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, the kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against against himself, and he be divided, he cannot stand, but have an end. Okay, just like let's read that in the NLT. Okay. Mark 3:23, Yahweh Shah called them over and responded with an illustration. How can Satan cast out Satan? He asked. A kingdom divided by civil war will collapse. Similarly, a family splintered by feuding will fall apart. And if Satan is divided and fights against himself, how can he stand? He would never survive. Okay, and that's the same thing that's happened here. Okay, he's not going to be able to survive this destruction. Okay, and the Lord said the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and according to Job 9:24, he gave it over to Esau Edom, but he's saying in due time he will set over it one that is profitable, which is his son, which is Yahweh Shai, and he's proven to be profitable because he kept the law, statutes, and commandments perfectly, and he was exalted to be on the right hand of the Most High. Who else would you want to rule over everything? Someone that's in all wisdom, someone who's created everything, who's given the blueprint, someone that's proven to be trusted, someone who's died for his nation. That's Yahweh Shai. In the hand of God is the prosperity of man, and upon the person of the scribe shall he lay his honor. Okay, so that's talking about Yahweh Shai. Okay, and of course he deserves it. Okay, he deserves it, man. James chapter 5, and I'll probably end it on this. James 5:1, go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl, for your misery shall come upon you. For riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord Sabaoth. Ye have lived in pleasure on earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in a day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. So the Lord's watching you. All you rich men, the Lord sees what you're doing, man. All right? But I'm going to end it right there. Lord's will that I was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechakwada, Shalom.